Thank you for tuning into the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. This is going to be a special video. I'm going to give, I guess, an homage, a shout out, directing you to Mr. Gregory Pitts here on YouTube. It's from him that I got a couple of ideas about how the black communities are working around the country. And specifically, he targets a series that he has ongoing talking about building black businesses in the community versus the church in the black community. It was he that pointed out that churches are taking up the most promising and profitable properties in the black community. Now, I just want you to take a look at that. So the churches are taking up the corner properties, and it's not just one church. It's tons and tons every corner. And he also points out that the pastors or ministers of these churches are building these churches up and then immediately moving out of the neighborhood to suburbs somewhere. And so all of their $100,000 a year salaries that they get, they spend it in the white community. They don't spend it in the black community. But he did point out that some of the politicians that ran for office in those communities actually live in the community. So we're not talking about ghetto places or rundown poor neighborhoods. The churches themselves are sitting on literally $1 million properties. The building and construction is worth about $1 million or $2 or $3 million. And what does the church bring to the community? Nothing. Now, I've made several pseudo-religious type of videos, and everybody, of course, that comes and attacks me, and I'm just trying to wake you up as to what is really going on. Your community is saddled, burdened, like a donkey. You pile on all the stuff, is burdened with churches and ministers, and I have pointed out that black men have completely left the church. The black church is now 80% black female. That should tell you that whatever you think that you're getting out of it, it's not for everybody. And we have talked about the scandals in the churches. The black church in the black community is burdening that community. It's taking away those $1 million properties. People want to guess and wonder why black businesses aren't doing so well. It's because they're not properly situated on the corners. The churches are taking up the corners. We have churches taking over gas station lots where a gas station used to be. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, God will make a way. No, God is not going to make a way, because you have Negroes plopping a church down on the premium real estate in the black community. When you take away the premium real estate in the black community, what do you have left? You have terrible pieces of property, and people are supposed to run businesses on these bad locations. I'm all about presenting with you a solution. Do you need a $3 million church sitting on premium real estate in the black community? It does absolutely nothing. Let's be honest. I'm not talking about, oh, God really helps people. No, people help people. The guy who got off drugs, he got off drugs because he had the support, love, and help of people around him who are saying that, I know you can get off these drugs. I know that you can do better. That's what got him off drugs. There was no man in the sky. Nobody. I always think it is insulting to say, oh, God provide. No, God did not provide. You provided. Give yourself some credit. You led some guy out of the gutter, and now he's the lieutenant governor of the state. You did that. Why don't you give yourself some credit? And if the church is taking up the prime real estate in your community is doomed to fail. If anybody wants to argue this, let's go take a look in the Bible. What did they do? They met in secret. They met in dens. They met in people's kitchens. They met down in the docks. They didn't even have a location. And in fact, one of the scriptures says you should not have a location because the Holy Spirit dwells in the hearts of men. Anybody tells you that you need a building to be a Christian is not a Christian. They are of Satan, their father, and they are trying to lead you astray and take your money, all for the ride. Mr. Gregory Pitts is the one doing this very fantastic series, and he's going from corner to corner to corner, neighborhood to neighborhood to neighborhood in the black neighborhoods and the black communities, and he's showing you they can't have the premium locations. Take a look at 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven says you can only put a 7-Eleven on the premium location. We are here to make money. We're here to be successful. Yes, you can buy a franchise, but we're going to tell you exactly where to put that 7-Eleven. And if we don't approve of where you put it, you can't put it. You can't even lay it down. That's 7-Eleven. It has to be on the corner in a prime real estate location, because that is where the prime real estate location is. How are you going to have black business being located down an alleyway? Have you seen this? Have you heard of this? Or how do you get to such and such? How do you get to the cleaners? You go down the street and then there's an opening and you go down the alleyway and it's in the back of the... How are you running a business like that? How's that even possible? And I want to tell you, you Christians who think that your building is so much more important than the black community, and you're the main ones crying, you're the main ones hollering, oh, this community, it used to be so good, now it's gone downhill, because you built 50 churches on the prime commercial spots. Why is the church on the corner? Because he wants the foot traffic to come into. He's no fool. He's no idiot. He's doing exactly what a good business person should be doing. And you're not even seeing the forest for the trees. Why are you on the corner? What are you doing for the community? Missionary Baptist Church. What missions do you have? Are you feeding the poor? Are there no homeless in the area? Have you taken care of all the homeless so that they have a place to stay? Oh, that's not okay, then where do your tithes go then? The tithes aren't supposed to go to the church. The tithes are supposed to help the needy. You're supposed to be visiting helping the sick, visiting the widows, helping the children. And you wonder what's wrong with the black community. I'll tell you what's wrong with the black community, the church. It is a bastion of sin. Let's be honest. What good deeds have you done? Oh, you don't get to heaven by good deeds? Oh, really? So Christians shouldn't be doing good deeds? Christians should be breaking records doing good deeds. You have homeless running around. I know a place here in Las Vegas. There is a church on every corner. They are facing each other. They're side by side. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And the community that these $1 million, 2-3-story churches are sitting in with 1 million members on the paper in their book. They have 1 million, and people send in their tithes, though they didn't show up in church. The community is it's just run down, and there's crack and whatever. And when the good saints are out of church, they get out of Dodge. I don't even know why the church is there. None of the people live there. They haven't helped anybody in the area. Crack cocaine running rampant all around the church. What good deeds have you done? What have you done for the weakest of these? You're not of God. How about that one? And you're running down the very community that you're sitting in. You're taking up the spot of somebody who could be running a business and hiring black people, giving them an income so that they can take care of themselves, instead of them standing on the corner selling crack to each other that came from the White House. Everybody wants to run and talk about conspiracies of the White House spending the crack in the black neighborhoods, or putting the crack in the black neighborhoods, but they won't do anything to get out of the way so that black business can thrive. And that is the very church. I'll lay it at your feet. I think you're all scum. I don't see anything good. Nothing. And if my church does okay, but you're taking up the prime location. You have taken up the entire city block with your church. Is that necessary? Oh, well, we have ministries on the TV and blah, blah. What? What is that about? Your church is big. So what? The people can't go to another rinky-dink church right next door to them? You have to get everybody in the city to go to your church? That's hubris. You're worse than the rich man in the Bible. I applaud Mr. Gregory Pitts for showing this. You know, I'm all about finance, funding, economics. That's what I'm about. I present solutions, and the solution is the black church is doing harm to black women. Number one, I already said, you're running away black men. We're talking about church. I'm sorry, it's 2014. You have to go get a job. You have to have some sort of skill. You have to be a good helpmate. That means that you have to bring something to the table now. You just can't be boobs and a vagina. You have to bring something to the table. I want me a good man. We're all the good men are dating and marrying the good women, no matter what color they are. The one who's a doctor, the one who's getting her PhD in clinical psychology, the one who's an engineer, that she's going to walk out of the school clocking in $75,000 a year. And they get scooped right up before they even graduate. You talk about black men, good black men being scooped up, the good black women are being scooped up. If you're making $20,000 a year, you're not bringing anything to the table. And you standing in church, waiting on some man, waiting for God to bring me some. Really? The whole idea is that God has given you the freedom to do whatever you want. God doesn't require anything of you. And if anybody tells you differently, they are trying to get into your pocketbook so that you could tithe and build up their church to millions of dollars, and so that they could have a $300,000 a year salary and drive around in a Benz while you're driving your little Pinto, or you're driving your GM car that's been recalled. Wake up and smell the coffee. I say it again. The black church is the abysmal bottom hellish pit that has doomed the black community. Get it out of the black community. Go put your church up on the corner. So the black community could be over here. Your church could be over there on the corner, on the hill somewhere, on the hillside somewhere. It could be pretty. It could overlook something. Yeah. Not even in the community. You all go drive up on the hill away from the actual community. There you go. Problem solved. You can have your $1 million church on the hill away from the community. That way, Tyrone and Sons can have his family business that he passes on from generation to generation to generation, that hires 20 people in the community, that gives an income to 20 people in the community, that they can support themselves. They don't have to sell crack cocaine. How about that one? You want to do some good? Tear down your churches. Thank you for watching the Shakaama Live Show.